Welcome to the show. I have an old friend on the show today. Well, not really. We just met, but it seems like we're old friends already. I have Kelly Pirtle from Panama City Health Club here in the studio. Fascinating conversation before we started here.
Hoo-ah.
Yeah, about the military, you know, because I'm retired and you're a spouse.
Yes, I am.
And an Air Force brat?
Yes, I am. Air Force brat, Army spouse.
Isn't that something? And it's something about military people that you're always motivated to do something, aren't you?
It seems like it, yes.
And you're a busy mom.
Yes, I am, yes.
So you're running a household, right?
Yes.
Your husband works at AF North,
Yep.
which I know is a very busy place.
Yes.
I still have nightmares about that place because that's where I retired at it. And, so you're a busy mom, you're running a household, but yet you hold down a job and you have time to be fit.
Yes,
and to take care of yourself.
Yes, I do. Very, very important, because if you do something for yourself and it makes you happy, it will also reflect from the outside. And happy wife, happy life, as they like to say. But beyond that, though, the physical aspect is just you have a better quality of life. You function every day, I think, better when you can take time out for yourself and go get physically active, get your heart rate going, spend some time getting healthy. Very, very important. And at Panama City Health Club, we strive to help you achieve that. And we've got...
Let me ask you something before we were talking about, if you can, a lot of people say I'm too busy. So I'm just way too busy, I don't have the time.
No, you have the time, trust me. If you wake up in the morning, as soon as your feet hit the floor, you can do stuff at home. If not, you need to pick a time every day that you can commit to, and you just need to make it happen. Whether it be, I have kids, so I understand the dinner time and the schedule and school activities. Whether it be maybe right after dinner, if you have a husband to help you out and you get things situated and you can sneak off to the gym, you need 30 minutes. That's all it takes you.
Just 30 minutes?
Just 30 minutes. Or less, actually.
Daily or a couple times a week?
Daily. I would say 30 minutes daily, at least spending some of that time, if you can, in the gym. Helping, either taking classes or using the equipment that's in the outside area of the classes. You can get on the treadmill, various pieces of cardio equipment, the elliptical. We've got mirrors there with plenty of free weights that you can check your form, and people walking around that can help you if you need assistance with anything.
So if I've never been in the gym before, you know, a lot of people are intimidated to walk into a gym, particularly ladies. Maybe you haven't been to a gym, you know, maybe you're not a member, maybe your first time, like, yeah, I need to get in shape, I need to do more than just, you know, work out in front of the TV or something. Isn't it kind of intimidating walking through the door that first time?
No, especially at Panama City Health Club. We really strive to be a family-oriented facility. You walk in, you come to the front desk, and you have multiple options. You can drop your kids off in the daycare that has a Wii and an awesome slide and great providers, and then you can go into a women's only area. So if you do feel a little bit of that intimidation of being around
a bunch of big sweaty guys.
Exactly, a bunch of big sweaty guys, or even if you feel that somebody is fitter than you, although I will say Rome was not built in a day, okay? Everything takes time and it takes baby steps, and you just have to do you. You can't be worried about the people around you. But if you are, we have a women's only section, so you can go off to the women's only section.
That's important too. I think that's really important.
Right, and feel more comfortable and feel more assertive and not feel like somebody's watching you, or if you're going to embarrass yourself. I've been there. I've experienced those things.
I've embarrassed myself in the gym before. I have no pride.
You know, unfortunately, I don't mind embarrassing myself. I don't scare very easily, but I do empathize with that feeling. And so we do offer that, especially for the women, because most of the time it's the majority of women, although that's not the case in all situations.
Kelly, we got to run off to a break right now, but on the other side of that, let's talk more about what people can do to keep fit, and maybe you can show me a few moves.
Of course I can.
And we'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show, and you're probably wondering why I'm on the floor here with Kelly Pirtle from Panama City Health Club. Why are we on the floor, Kelly?
Well, Don, we are going to try a little Tabata training. So
Tabata?
This is something that you can do at home. we were speaking if you didn't have time, or more effectively in a gym, because then you can also follow that by other exercises. In a nutshell, Tabata is you do an exercise for 20 seconds and then you rest for 10 seconds. You will do that for a series of 8 rounds to give you a total of 4 minutes. So if you can find 4 different exercises, you can get a great workout in 20 minutes.
Wow.
All right? So what we're going to do is a plank walk. All right.
Plank
First,
walk.
yes, we are.
Sounds a lot like walking the plank.
All right. So I need you to bring your navel close to your spine to support that low back.
Navel to the spine.
Navel to the spine. We're going to come down. We're going to put our hands under our shoulders.
Like I haven't done that
yes.
a long time. Okay.
Now your knees are going to be slightly behind your hips.
Okay.
And your
Okay. My
toes
knees
are
are
tucked
down.
under. Yep. Press into the floor. So this is your first option. You're just going to come down onto the forearms, and then you're going to walk it back up. All right, your eyes are on the floor to protect your head and neck, and you're going to do this for 20 seconds. Now, Don, what do we say if this is too easy? Well, what do? We lift our knees. And so you're going to lift your knees flat as a board, hips up,
Kelly,
butt down.
I wasn't going to say that.
Yes,
it was too easy.
Yes.
But okay.
It's too easy. We need a little bit more, Don. He's really strong. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. The key is to not move those hips.
Oh, this is
all right?
working.
So what else do we need to do? We need to breathe. Breathing is involuntary. So that helps. So you need to try to not breathe. You need to breathe. Let it come naturally. Don't overthink it. So we have 20 seconds of this. How you feeling, Don?
I'm actually feeling it. I am feeling
All right, knees down.
Yeah, thank you.
Recover. You have 10 seconds, Don.
Wow.
A whole 10 seconds to wrap your head around that, and we're going to go again.
All right. Okay, we can do. I got 10 seconds to rest, and then we'll do this again. And
okay, so say the 4 minutes has lapsed, Don.
Okay.
What
Yes,
else can
let's
we
say
do?
that.
We're going to do push-ups. Your basic push-up. All right? That's all she wrote. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off.
So what I'm hearing is that there's really no excuse. Everybody has the time for this. This
Exactly.
is a 20-minute workout that you can mix it up with taba,
exactly,
push-ups, 10-second breaks, and all that stuff.
Exactly, yes. And you can come into the gym. Your kids can go to the daycare, and you can do this in the facility also.
Kelly Pirtle, thank you so much for coming on the show and making me break a sweat so early in the morning.
Thank you, Don.
You're
I
welcome
appreciate
back anytime.
Hi, this is David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. Changing your engine oil is one of the single most important vehicle maintenance acts you can perform on your car. Gasoline, transmission fluid, water, coolant, brake fluid, all are very important fluids and must be changed, but none of them have such a negative impact if it's not performed regularly than your engine oil. When your engine doesn't receive the proper amount of oil that it should, or if the oil that it's receiving is dirty and contaminated, it begins to shut down. Eventually, your engine will seize. It'll stop running. And then you're looking at a very, very expensive auto repair. So how often should you replace your engine oil? Well, most experts agree that between 3,000 and 5,000 miles is the optimal amount of time to replace your engine oil. If you really want to know, turn to your operator's guide that's usually located in your glove compartment. Probably the most least read book in the world. Open it up, go to the back, and see what type of intervals and what type of oil that your manufacturer recommends for changing. Changing engine oil is a very simple process, and a lot of people change their own oil. If you're one of these do-it-yourselfers, take some very basic advice. Change the engine oil filter. The engine oil filter captures all the soot, all the grime, all the contaminants out of the old oil. You drain the old oil out, you put new oil back in, you're putting it on right on top of that dirty, nasty filter. All that sludge and all that grime is going to circulate right back out of the filter and right back into your motor. I'm David Lovett, and this has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247 and we'll check it for free.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Favaloro for your pet health tip of the week. Thanks for coming back on the show, Dr. Fav. Always good to see you.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
It's getting really, really hot out now.
It is getting hot.
And I talk to some people and like you have to hydrate, you got to use sunblock and all that stuff. What about our pets? Are they susceptible to the same things?
Absolutely. In fact, even more so because of their inability to sweat. Dogs and cats don't have sweat glands. So
is it true that they sweat through their mouths? Is that just like urban legend?
They sweat through their mouths. I mean, they dissipate heat by panting. So that's how they cool down, by exchanging heat through their lungs and then, of course, expelling it out. That's the main way. And then, of course, just normal, conduction. You lose heat through your skin, but they won't sweat, so they're not real efficient at doing that. And, of course, then there's certain breeds who, just by nature, just have a hard time breathing in general. Like they're called brachiocephalics. They're like the real short-nosed dogs. Like
my dog.
Yeah, like your dog, or like pugs and Shih Tzus and Malteses, things like that. I mean, they really have a hard time just breathing in general. And in fact, if they just even exercise, they can actually have exercise-induced, hyperthermia, just because they're building more energy through muscle exertion, and then they're trying to pant, and then they're exerting more energy panting because they are very inefficient panters because their soft palate is so long. So they're actually generating heat by trying to dissipate heat.
Wow. And plus wearing that fur coat all the time probably doesn't help.
Well, and you're right. And so there's a lot of factors that contribute to whether, some dogs will, get hyperthermia faster than others. So if you have overweight dogs, if you have, really long hair-coated dogs, or cardiac disease for that matter. You get some of these older dogs that have, congestive heart failure, heart murmurs, their cardiac output isn't that good. So, they are inefficient pumpers just by nature there. So
if you have a breed like mine with a short snout, maybe a little overweight, wearing a fur coat, summertime's not good. That's hard.
No, I mean, and I tell people too, like generally between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. is not a good time to walk your dog or go out and, take them, go play Frisbee or something like that. Not a good idea because it's just so hot during those times. And, people still want to walk their dog, but, you do it in the morning or in the afternoon. But, everybody's lives are so busy, it's hard to get up and do that. But those are the best times to do it. And, of course, then you've got the no-see-ums and the yellow flies you have to deal with.
Boy, yeah.
But still, from a hyperthermia or a heat stroke standpoint, you try to go play Frisbee with your dog or go for that afternoon jog after work at 4 o'clock, and that's not going to be good for that pet.
Dogs are so loyal. They'll go along for the run.
They're not going to stop themselves.
They're not going to say, "Hey, I'm getting a little hot. Let me cool down."
No,
they're just going to keep going.
Not. They will.
Yeah.
And that goes for dogs. People. You hear the big thing. People in the mall see a dog, in the car with the windows closed. I mean, that's legit. I mean, and 100-degree temperature outside with windows up, it gets to be about 120 degrees in that car. Even at 82 degrees, it still gets to be close to 100, 102 degrees in the car. So, you got your windows up, it's 82, it's not that bad. Well, in the car, it's 102, 103 degrees.
Even if the windows are cracked.
Even if it's cracked, it only decreases the temperature by about 5 to 7 degrees. So, you crack the windows and it's 100 degrees outside, still 115 degrees in your car.
God, that's awful. So you really have to be careful.
Right. I mean, and when the temperature gets that high, I mean, there's such a large cascade of things that, will develop. And first of all, as soon as their cardiovascular system collapses, then they're going to start releasing a lot of, it's called, heat proteins, and then this just causes further cell death, and then next thing you know, they're starting to hypercoagulate, and then you start to go in multi-organ dysfunction, and then, by that point, you get them to the vet even, and, a lot of times the damage is already done.
Wow, so it's almost too late. So how do you know if your dog's experiencing heat stroke?
Well, if they can't pant, they're not able to calm down. You start to see the gum color start to turn. I mean, those are bad. So if if you suspect your dog is undergoing some heat stroke, best thing you can do is to put water on, not cold water, regular lukewarm water and a fan. Don't try to put alcohol in their feet. Don't try to put cold water because that'll just cause vasoconstriction, cause everything to go internal, and then they'll even have a harder time, dissipating heat. So
I remember my little dog. She would go on a top step of the pool, and just wade there like a hippo.
Just cool down that way.
Just to cool down. She just stand in the pool for a little
Absolutely.
while. Yeah. Dr. Favre, always interesting speaking with you, sir, and thanks for coming on the show. And we'll look forward to your health pet tip next week. Keep them cool, right?
Yes, sir.
And we'll be right back after these messages. I have Pamela Kidwell and Mike Ross. I only had to read your name to get it. I should have looked right at you because you're wearing your little label there. The Small Business Forum. What's that about? You guys are from two different agencies.
Absolutely.
Right? You represent the Small Business Development Center, and you represent who?
The Business Innovation Center.
The Business Innovation
Right.
Center.
We're actually located on the campuses of FSU, right across the street from the Small Business Development Center. They're located at Gulf Coast State College, right on the corner of the big ATC building, which is where we're going to have the candidates forum, actually.
Yeah. So you both have a common interest in the candidates forum. What's going to go on there?
This is going to be an opportunity for the public to come in and talk to their candidates before the actual election.
Candidates for State House?
This is going to be the District 6 Florida House. This is going to be Republicans, Democrats, and Green Party, so everybody will be represented in this forum.
Okay, now the location, the time, and the place again?
Okay, the location is at the ATC, which is the Advanced Technology Center. Gulf Coast State College.
I've been there. It's a beautiful new building.
It is. That's one reason to actually come to the forum, so that if you have not seen the ATC, you really truly should.
Even if you don't care about who represents you in the State House, come see the building.
Exactly. Yeah. So the second reason is to know your candidates. But it's in the Summit Conference Room, which is the third floor of the ATC, and it starts at 6:30 on Tuesday, which is tonight, and we'll be able to have the opportunity for you, actually, to ask the candidates questions for the public, because we're going to compile questions. We're still compiling, and we'll be able to give you the questions to ask the candidates.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that, quite honestly. It's a real honor that you guys have asked me to help with that. District 6 in the State House, for a lot of people, if you don't know, is pretty much Bay County, right?
Yes.
And this is the seat that's being vacated by Jimmy Petronas, who has reached the end of his term limits.
Absolutely.
Now, we've only got a minute or so left before we have to run to a commercial break. Why is it so important? I mean, does the State House really have that much effect on our daily lives here?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
to me, everything is local. You know, politics is local, but also the representatives of our community historically, that when they go to the State House, they have a major impact on our economic development. You know, we being part of the Panhandle, you know, compete with the attention of our legislators for the bigger metropolitan areas. And historically, we picked just great representatives that get in there and represent a smaller community than Orlando or Orange County or Dade County or some of the bigger areas. So that's why it's really important. If we don't have, you know, a good, strong representative, the chances of us getting attention for our community needs is going to be much lower. So
we got to run off to a commercial break, but on the other side of that, I do want to talk about the importance of local politics, particularly at the state level, and why people need to come and see who their candidates are and know who you're voting for.
Absolutely.
Great.
We'll be right back after these messages. I'm here with Mike Ross and Pamela Kidwell, and we're talking about the candidates forum that's happening tonight at Gulf Coast State College. Why is it so important that people go?
It is so key. It's a responsibility, in my opinion, for you to know your candidates, know what you're voting for. Voting actually is in my opinion, something that people should do. It's a responsibility. It's not just a task that you can choose to do or not. Everybody should know their candidates and everybody should vote.
You know, we hear a lot about national politics, you know, so everybody's focused on Congress and all that stuff. But, you know, not so much on the State House sometimes. I mean, that's kind of relegated to the back pages of the newspaper. Maybe it's not always front and center. And Bay County, our representative is just District 6, Bay County.
Absolutely. That's who talks for us.
But that's who represents us.
Absolutely. That's who's telling our story. That's who's making it important for us.
One of the great things about our community, because it is small and intimate, is this is an opportunity really for anybody to communicate through the politicians, you know, what their desire is for the quality of life or the future of our county. So, you know, if you're I've lived in big metropolitan areas where, you know, you don't ever have a chance to actually communicate with your political leaders. And so this is an opportunity to get close to these people that are going to affect our life in the long run here in Bay County. So
and get to see them and meet them and see what kind of people they are and how they react and what their bedside manner is, and you know, so to speak. You know, if you go to your representative with a problem, are you going to get short shrift, or are you going to get, you know, an engaged, thoughtful person helping you solve a problem? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so much more they can do. And there's been a lot said about states' rights.
Absolutely.
Particularly given the overarching reach of the federal government nowadays. I think it's very important to have a strong candidate in out there running to represent us in the State House. Now, what's your interest in it, though? I mean, you're from two different organizations.
Right, but we're a team. The SBDC and the Business Innovation Center works closely together to work with startups, to work with small business, to work with companies to expand. So we're working with businesses all day, and we're hoping that those businesses take part in this forum to understand what they have in the State House.
The center of it is economic development for our community. Both of our groups are focused on building a better environment for economic development. And our community deserves more companies to come here, get started, grow, and Pamela's role in the small business development role is to mentor that and to really help that along as much as we can.
So our representative in the State House can have a really big impact on the business climate here in Bay County.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And it's really important that people go out and see this tonight. Tonight, June 24th, 6:30 p.m., the Summit Conference Room at the Advanced Technology Center at Gulf Coast State College. Go there, meet your candidates, ask some questions, and make a thoughtful decision come election time. You've been watching Waking Up with Don. We'll see you next time.